taking some notes on the Conservative Party. All Canadians should have the reasonable access to quality health care regardless of their ability to pay. It's one of their most iconic policy statements. In essence, this policy is an agreed concept between Liberal and Conservative. Access to equal health care, a major proponent of Policy A, Declaration 1, Clause II, ensure equality of opportunity. Policy Declaration 14, independent judiciary, is another point they try to make in their policy. Courts independent of Parliament. Not notable. It's notable that revolution of current system is there. It sets a brick down on the project of a future political era. As for environmentally friendly things, the federal government of Liberal Party is more green, but the Conservative Party in itself has a green thumb as well. It's a gradual transition for them, though. It's continued fossil fuel use throughout the development of economic and safer development first. Development of structures like carbon capture technology, battery-based storage, small modular reactors, hydrogen-based generation, those sorts of technologies first, and then cut back on the gas and the oil and all the fossil fuels. In Policy Declaration 78, the palliative care as separate and distinct right of all Canadians in healthcare. The government funding for this and the more accessible healthcare is a really high and good point to make for healthcare reform. They have it really mapped out in their policy. If you want to read it, I'll link it in the description. There are a lot of higher taxes in their policy, but at Policy 114 to 120 Declaration, they propose giving the land title of the reservations from the Crown to the Indigenous people in an abolition of the Indian Act, and it proposes a new deal based on transparency, accountability, taxation, autonomy, capacity, and property right. So they do have some civil rights for the Indigenous people. They just don't implement it into an entire platform around it. And I have looked into this a little bit, and I can respect the Conservative Party for their implementation of healthcare. We're definitely in need of reform there, but I'm more environmentally friendly than that, and I would really cut back on the gasoline and fossil fuels as a priority of climate change right now. And the electric engines are already there. We really have developed quite good electric cars. The gasoline doesn't need to fuel them anymore. As for healthcare reform, it can be found at Policy Declaration number 78. Palliative care as separate and distinct right for all Canadians. Policy A, Declaration 1, Clause II, ensure equality and opportunity. So there is equality for Canadians. There's a diversity there, but there is a lot of implication of less being done, more being said. And I'd like to get more information on independent judiciary. as far as I was aware, that was already in place. Parliament was supreme since the POGG in uh, the earlier founding of the country. Uh, but if they're planning to reform Parliament as a form of overriding appeals in a courthouse, I don't know exactly if I can be in support of that. But I would look into it further, though. I like I like the look of their policy. It's at least well written anyway. It is there, and it is very helpful to have a lot of documentation of policy and platform, and it's easily accessible to the public on their website. Uh, I recommend anyone wanting to learn something new about the Conservative Party to read the documents on their website. As for me, I'll stick with the Liberals' oil and gas net zero by 2050 hope, and reduce plastic waste by 2030. National Party priority. And